Fair Use. Daily Reflections. This is a book of reflections by AA members for AA members. September 21st. The Last Promise. We will suddenly realize that God is doing for us what we could not do for ourselves. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 84. The last promise in the big book came true for me on the very first day of sobriety. God kept me sober that day, and on every other day I allowed Him to operate in my life. He gives me the strength, courage, and guidance to meet my responsibilities in life so that I am then able to reach out and help others stay sober and grow. He manifests within me, making me a channel of His word, thought, and deed. He works with my inner self while I produce in the outer world, for He will not do for me what I can do for myself. I must be willing to do His work so that He can function through me successfully. Courage to Change, One Day at a Time in Al-Anon, September 21st. In living with the disease of alcoholism, I became a fearful person who dreaded change. Although my life was full of chaos, it was familiar chaos, which gave me the feeling that I had some control over it. This was an illusion. I have learned in Al-Anon that I am powerless over alcoholism and many other things. I've also learned that change is inevitable. I no longer have to assume that change is bad because I can look back at changes that have had a very positive effect on me, such as coming into Al-Anon. I still have many fears, but the Al-Anon program has shown me that my higher power will help me walk through them. I believe that there is a power greater than myself, and I choose to trust this power to know exactly what I need and when I need it. Today's reminder: today I can accept the changes occurring in my life and live more comfortably with them. I will trust in the God of my understanding, and my fears will diminish. I relax in this knowledge, knowing that I am always taken care of when I listen to my inner voice. There is a quote from Living with Sobriety, and it reads, "We may wonder how we are going to get through all the stages and phases, the levels of growth and recovery. Knowing we are not alone often quiets our fears and helps us gain perspective." Just for today, Daily Meditations for Recovering Addicts, September 21st. Prayer. Prayer takes practice, and we should remind ourselves that skilled people were not born with their skills. Basic text, page 46. Many of us came into recovery with no experience in prayer and worried about not knowing the right words. Some of us remembered the words we'd learned in childhood but weren't sure we believed in those words anymore. Whatever our background in recovery, we struggled to find words that spoke truly from our hearts. Often the first prayer we attempt is a simple request to our higher power, asking for help in staying clean each day. We may ask for guidance and courage, or simply pray for knowledge of God's will for us and the power to carry that out. If we find ourselves stumbling in our prayers, we may ask other members to share with us about how they learned to pray. No matter whether we pray in need or pray in joy, the important thing is to keep making the effort. Our prayers will be shaped by our experience with the 12 steps and our personal understanding of a higher power. As our relationships with that higher power develops, we become more comfortable with prayer. In time, prayer becomes a source of strength and comfort. We seek that source often and willingly. Just for today, I know that prayer can be simple. I will start where I am and practice. Today, Emotions Anonymous, September 21st. Reflection for today. We may think we have many friends, but if we have 2 or 3, we are richly blessed. A test of friendship could be if we were arrested for some terrible crime, would that person still be there to support us? How many of our friends would actually meet this criteria? If we have a friend who gives us this kind of acceptance, we would be wise to value that relationship. How accepting am I of my own human nature? Do I see that I am capable of doing anything anyone else might do? If I see that I can, I will be more capable of giving this kind of acceptance. Meditation for today. Help me to be the kind of friend I would like to have. Today I will remember. I will be conscious of my needs as well as the needs of those I love for unconditional acceptance. Strengthening my recovery. Meditations for adult children of alcoholics, dysfunctional families. September 21st. Unexpressed grief. Every adult child has unexpressed grief, which is usually represented by the symptoms of depression, lethargy, or forms of dissociation. BRB, page 199. We pretended for years that we were responsible for our own depression. We took drugs and acted out to combat the feelings that came up. We hung out with others who minimized and wallowed in pity and inaction. When the topic of sexual abuse or child abuse came up, we floated around the room, sometimes forgetting what other people were saying entirely. When we saw violence in a movie or on TV, we may have felt uncomfortable, but we ignored it. Because we're the lucky ones who have found ACA, we are now seeing that there's a better way to live. When we go to meetings, we find people who speak their truth openly. We listen as those who came before us and after us spill the beans about their real thoughts. They talk about what they're doing to uncover the grief that underlies their depression and other symptoms that are a result of their childhoods. Through their examples, we learn to speak the language of the heart ourselves, and we heal. The affirmation reads, "On this day, I will go to a meeting to listen to the healing that's in evidence. If a meeting is not available, either in person or by phone, I will make contact with a fellow traveler so I can hear healing words." Share, subscribe, like, and most of all, be the you that you are created to be. To remember that you are not alone and that recovery is possible one day at a time.